Look, if I'm rating the team's performance, I'm a coach, not a schoolmaster. Really, I think you're asking questions that it's one of these. What was his mandate? What is his mandate? It's a question that's loaded to try to find an angle somewhere. Look, I've got no problems leaving this job. You don't confuse me with the coach that's desperate for a job. I've turned down a job this week with another African nation. I've turned down a job last week with the Saudis. I've turned down jobs in Asia, and I've turned down jobs in South Africa to stay with this team. I'm not a desperate coach. I stay and do the job because I want to do it. I think I can take the team forward. The second I don't, I'll leave. Now, don't confuse me with that desperate coach that's, oh, please don't sack me. Please don't sack me. I'll do this job because I thought that this national team needed direction, and I think I've given it the first stage of that direction. To rate my own job, I never do that because that's being pompous and blown up, and I don't ever do that. But if I was to stay in the job, it would be because I think I can do the job properly. And I have to say, without sounding arrogant, not 1% of my self-esteem would come from questions like that, asking me to give a mark to my own performance. And people that sit there saying, how can you understand South Africans when you've not been through what we've been through? I understand that people want a South African in a perfect world leading the South African national team. I understand that. That should not drive away coaches that can enhance the national team. It drove away Carlos Queiroz, and I don't think we got better after that. It drove me away the first time, and I don't think that South African football improved rapidly. Even your own people like Pitso was driven away back into club football, and Pitso's done very nicely, thank you very much, and the national team still had the same problems. So I think we have to get away from this sort of thinking of, let's see how good you think you are first. I think you've got to look at a programme and you've got to say, is progress being made? If progress is being made, then some things are being done correctly. And then let's look at those things. Instead of looking at everything still, after I think a very good, and I'm saying other people also think a very good, solid AFCON, still the questions that you're asking is if I'm going to get the sack from my employer, and if the players think I'm good enough to be taking the national team. I think that's unnecessary, and I think it's counterproductive, I have to say. Now you've got more than a right to your opinion, but I think you've got to know that basic premise of asking negative questions, it may sell a few newspapers, but it's certainly not productive.